And we are live. What is going on, everyone? It's Johnny Dunn, and we are back with another one today. Epic VeVe live stream. Today we just have one drop, nothing too crazy today. I'm gonna give my thoughts, opinions, price predictions, kind of my strategy if I'm going for this drop, if I'm passing it, if I think this is a big drop, small drop, anything in between. I'm gonna be giving my opinions about everything. Shout out to everyone joining the live stream today. You got a lot of people in the chat early. Shout out to Lucci. How we doing? How we doing? Super Simono. We got Twan. How we doing, fam? How's everyone doing today? Feeling a little bit better myself. Still just coughing up crazy stuff. I feel like my throat's still not 100%. The good news is the last couple weeks I've been sick. I haven't had a headache at all. So it's the first time in my life where I've been sick and I've never had a headache. I've only had like the sweats, the chills, and my throat has been horrible, and I just keep coughing up random stuff. So we're going to take a look at the drop today. We got She-Hulk, Savage She-Hulk, issue number 1. I'll let you guys know if I'm going for the drop today, if I'm passing it, some moves I made in the market. Show you guys what's been going down. Marvel Digital Comics, Savage She-Hulk, number 1. I believe it is streaming right now. There's a movie on Disney Plus or something like that, I think. I love the fact that VeVe is constantly timing up these drops with stuff that's streaming. Maybe it's streamed already. I'm not sure. I think it's coming up. Let me know the details in the chat. Is the movie streaming right now on Disney Plus? We've seen that time after time, with releases coinciding with each other, which I think is amazing. I think it's just a glimpse of what's going to happen in the future. I think eventually when Disney releases new movies, they're going to use VeVe to kind of promote it. Just my kind of thought process, looking up research of what has been said before. We got the comment here. This is the original cover. Shout out to everyone who does have this one in the real world. I know I saw some people on Twitter posting out that they did get this one in real life. Let me just see if I can bring up the person real quick. I like shouting people out. Actually, let me just go on Twitter. Here it is. Greyhound. Shout out to Greyhound. Greyhound Groot. Marvel's Savage She-Hulk number 1 drops today. Another opportunity to match NFT to my physical book. Looks like they got a 9.8, 9.6, 9.6. That's a solid collection right there. Shout out to Greyhound Groot. I think we're just going to see more and more of that happen in the future. I know it's kind of been a trend that's been happening. This is one of my favorite videos that I've seen in a while. This one got me hyped today. We're going to be going over this one. Shout out to Ryan. From the Drop podcast, had an awesome Twitter Spaces. I didn't even know they were having one yet the other day. I would have popped in there, gave it a listen, but I rewatched a lot of it. Gail had a good clip of it on YouTube that I saw this morning. That when I heard this, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need to clip this right now." It's amazing. I think it was Comics and Crypto, Elite Comics, and Ryan who hosted the podcast the other day. So shout out to those guys. Let's dive. I'm going to dive into this video too after I go over today's comment. We got the uncommon. I actually do like the look of this uncommon a lot because these pop out right here. I love that look. Went back to the tea, the hot tea today. Had to get some honey from my throat. I feel like some days it feels better, but then some days it doesn't at all. So I don't know. I don't know if it's the C word or not, COVID. Never got tested. Never had it before. I've never even been sick the last 2 years. So if you guys have had the C word, let me know if you've had any of those symptoms. We had the ultra rare. We got the secret rare. 20,000 total editions, 12,000 for the common, 4,500 for the uncommon, 2,000 for the rare, only 1,000 ultra rares, and 500 secret rares. Now, I do think that I'm going to pass on this drop just because I don't have that many gems right now. I only have like a couple hundred gems. And I'm not letting go any of my big-time collectibles. You guys might have seen on my VeVe profile, I actually just removed all of my collectibles besides my Todd and my Rizzo. Kind of doing a little experiment right now. Basically, the reason for the experiment is I was just talking to All Things Strange, Dr. Strange. Shout out to my guy. He's got a YouTube channel as well, All Things Strange VeVe. I was talking to him a little bit on Twitter. I was letting him know kind of my my experiment here. I was getting a crazy amount of views on my profile, like nonstop. I was just going up and up and up. But my followers, I mean, they were going up, but not as quick as the views. So I was trying to figure out how am I gaining so many views on my profile right now? Is it because people want to look through my entire collection, or they see my collectibles listed high for a price in the market and clicking on it? So I just removed all my collectibles on my profile besides the two. And I'm probably going to do that for the next few days just to try to see, because I have 36,000 views on my profile right now, which I find insane. And it just keeps going up, 36,144. So I'm trying to figure out, is it people looking through the collection, or they're just finding me another way? So that's just my little experiment right now. Don't freak out and think I sold all my collectibles. I have been selling some of my cheap comics that I got for like MCP points, or I just like the cover art at the time. And I don't want to sell anything in this market, but I had to make some sacrifices, let go of some things that I don't love. I feel pretty confident with my collection, where it's at right now with the collectibles and comics. So right now I'm just holding a lot of my big stuff, holding all my big stuff, and just trying to find ways where I can, squeeze in a few extra gems right now. So that's today's comic. I think I'm going to pass on it, but this is, an FA, She-Hulk's first appearance and origin issue. 2 VeVe exclusives, rare and the ultra rare today. I think this comic will do okay long term. I think in the short term, how I'm seeing this one, I think it may not do amazing in the short term. I think it could be a stacking opportunity long term. If anyone's got, extra gems that they don't mind stacking a few comics, whatever your budget affords, and holding on long term, I think it could do well. Shout out to everyone on the chat. Let me get to some comments real quick. Appreciate you, Big Time Lucci. These JD streams are the most consistent thing in my social life. Let's go. I am going to get back to streaming every single drop. There was a point where I was really unsure, because some people, I did a poll on Instagram saying, what would you guys rather have me do, streaming every single drop or just like the big drops? And I kind of do just like doing the big drops, because that's what really gets me excited, trying to compete for, opportunity to grab one of these versus everybody in the world. But also, a big drop is kind of subjective at the same time too. And some of these smaller drops, somebody might just be into the artwork or anything like that. So I made my decision. I am going to stream every single drop, I believe. And you guys know, even though I don't go for every drop, I just like kind of streaming during the drop time. Maybe I'll get back to streaming late night too. But I've been going to the golf course like multiple times a day for the most part. This last couple weeks, I've been doing it maybe just once or twice, just because I haven't been feeling great. But that's kind of after this month, or I would say after the month of September, so October. My golf tournament is last weekend in September, so October 1st is really when I'm going to level up the YouTube channel, start doing streams all day, every day, start interviewing a bunch of different people, celebrities, maybe people from the community, other content creators, not even content creators only, just people from the community, maybe people from the live chat. So I'm definitely going to expand after this month, so I'm excited for that. Ooh, Twan thinks She-Hulks will be worse than yesterday's comic, huh? I think it will come out pretty low. Good afternoon, Super Simono. I think I think it's a stacking opportunity for the long term if you have extra gems. I probably won't be stacking it, but again, there's so many opportunities to where I think this is one of those comics. Any FA of like a character that you see could be growing in the future, I think it's a good opportunity. Was popping JD? You going to Decon Anaheim by chance? You're local scalper. So right now, I'm just trying to get these. I don't know what they're called, press badges, I guess you would say. I think it's like backstage press passes or something like that. I want to be able to like live stream and kind of do something with the New York City Comic-Con. So I'm still waiting to hear back from them. I should be hearing back any week now, any day. Comics and Crypto was the one that told me to sign up for it, and I got Superstar Money to sign up for it too. So hopefully he's able to, apply or get accepted or whatever it is. And if not, then I'll just buy tickets and go to the New York City Comic-Con. Hopefully by then, I'm just trying to hope I get the answer if I get accepted or not before tickets sell out. So we'll see what happens with that. But I don't know about Anaheim. The whole thing about Anaheim is just getting there. If I can get a plane ride and go with some other people, that would be amazing. I don't want to fly there by myself. I hate flying by myself. It's one of those things where if I absolutely have to, I would, but I'd rather not. And I love road tripping, but that's a huge something I got to plan out. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see. I'm gonna try to make it though. Gary Lamodo, how we doing? How we doing, fam? Shall go? Doctor Strange in the building. Where can I find the David Warhol auction? Yeah, Gary, great question. So it's not on the app. So what you're gonna have to do is, let me share my screen. You're gonna have to go to the VeVe web app, and once you're on the web app, I still don't think I can go to my profile. Yeah, my profile is it's just like it's been stuck at a loading screen for a while now. So haven't really used the web app that much, but you can use the market. Market works for me. My collection works for me. Be able to go through my entire collection here. Let's take a look at my comic collection. People used to say Johnny hates the comics. It's only at 8.1K right now. And it is actually a lot higher. What it counts is all my commons are 3-digit low mint commons. So you just see the floor price of those commons. But everybody knows by now they're a lot more expensive than the floor. So it's actually quite a bit higher than that. But floor prices, these are my babies, my ultra rares, mixed in with my 3-digit commons. Let's go. That brings me into the topic I want to talk about real quick. 656 common. This is probably, this and my MC1 common is like my prized possession, I feel like. Speaking of common comics, last October, I went around, and what really got me collecting comics, because when comics came out, I liked them, but I wasn't really a collector yet. I didn't really get into them. Once I got my first 3-digit comic, I think I got it on a drop too. Probably wasn't my most expensive comic, but once I got that 3-digit common, the 3 digits just sparked an interest in me. I was like, whoa, this is something that I actually like collecting now. It was almost like I got addicted to this feeling of trying to find 3-digit mints of all the big time common comics. And why commons? Because that's the original cover. So for me, it feels like I'm collecting these original books in a high grade. Because in my eyes, whether people want to say it's right or it's wrong, in my eyes, I view like a low mint number, or maybe you have a special mint. Maybe you have the 1962, right? And in my head, that's just as valuable, maybe more valuable than a low mint. But I think those special mints and those low mints, or maybe even the last mint in the whole run, are like a high grade original cover. Now, I think all the variants will do great because I don't think a comic collector will stop at that original cover. If there's a variant that's even more scarce, like the uncommon, the rare, the ultra rare, or the secret rare, I think they're going to grab that one too. So I think those secret rares will always have a high floor. But I always thought back in October, if I'm loving these 3-digit mint commons, original covers, I think other people are going to love them over time too once that grows on people. And I always just thought that was going to be the case. A lot of people laughed at me. A lot of people said, Johnny, you have no experience collecting comics. You have no idea what you're talking about. I said, that's fine. You can think that all you want. I don't have that much experience collecting comics in the real world. VeVe got me into it. But I just dug into my collector bag, and I'm like, if I love collecting, not even flipping, if I love collecting these 3-digit original covers, I just think over time, other people, other collectors will love that too. And I think we're starting to see that take place, which brings me into this video. This is from the spaces that Ryan, Cryptos and Comics, or Comics and Crypto, and Elite Comics were hosting the other day. And I think it was the Gale that posted a clip of this video today on YouTube. And I saw this video today, gave it a watch, gave it a comment. If you guys don't follow Gale, you should definitely follow Gale by now. He's doing a great job just kind of, video recording his whole entire NFT journey. And this is one of the clips. And when I saw this clip, I was so happy to hear this, because you got to think of, I went almost October till now of getting called this moon boy, doesn't know what he's talking about, comics, he's an idiot. Like, I was getting called all kinds of crazy names just because I loved these original cover low mints. So look what we have here. We have an experienced physical comic collector talking about what he's gravitating towards. Let's give it a listen.
These NFT comics are going to be the future, and I really honestly feel strongly that those 6,000 original covers are going to be it, because, I'm a true collector. I've been a collector my entire life, and, I've had a physical copy of that book, and I certified it myself. And I don't like the cover of the SR, and I wouldn't like any of the other ones other than the comic. and I got a UC on the drop, and I was very happy to get it. But I did go right ahead and almost immediately and buy a common.
Woo! That's big time right there, in my opinion. Now, again, I think all rares are going to do great. Just because he doesn't like the secret rare doesn't mean someone else is going to, not like the secret rare. We just heard from, let's see here. Shout out to Giant Size Comics, right? Another physical comic collector that we're going to dive into his video in just a minute. He came from a physical world and he started buying up secret rares. And so I think it's really going to be a combination of both. I've always said I don't think a comic collector is just going to stop at, say, one variant. If a comic collector sees VeVe, and they want that original low mint, they're probably going to grab that. And then they're not just going to stop there. If they like that character, if they like Spider-Man and they're getting the Spider-Man comic, they're probably going to say, all right, what other variant covers are very scarce and I like the artwork of? And so I think all the variants are going to do great over time. That's the other thing. When I always talk about these 3-digit low mints, I think people maybe got a little defensive thinking that I was saying secret rares aren't worth anything, right? People are always so extreme one way or the other. I've been always saying both. All of them, actually, in fact. Like, look at some of your whales in the app right now, right? And when you think of long term, futures down the road, right? Like 5-10 years from now, maybe even just a couple years from now, when these physical comic collectors start to get into these digital comics and say they're a big Spider-Man fan and they see AF-15, they're probably going to want that original cover of AF-15, like you said. And how you separate yourself from those 6,000 editions is either that one-of-one special mint number 1962, maybe another special mint number that means something to you, or a low mint because there's just not many of them. One thing that I want to touch on is, but real quick, they're not going to stop at that low mint. They're going to probably, if they like Spider-Man, they're going to get that low mint original cover and then probably get the full set of variants if they can, or maybe that top variant, right? Or maybe the black and white cover, or whichever one they like the artwork of the most. So I always thought it was going to be both. And I just think there's just a lot more room to grow with these original covers is just what I've been saying. Now, this is another poll that I put out that I think most people just didn't realize. And so I think it caught people's attention like, oh, wait, maybe he has a point here. This is actually a lot closer than I thought it would be. I thought it'd be like 80%, 20%. But when I put it in this wording, I felt like it registered for a lot of people. I said, in terms of scarcity, since VeVe took the first 500 mints of the Marvel Comics #1, which do you think actually has fewer editions available? MC1 3-digit original cover or MC1 secret rare? Something to think about, right? If VeVe took the first 500 mints, which one is actually more scarce, right? And so there's only 77 votes. And I'm sure a lot of people didn't vote on this one for a reason, but this was eye-opening for a lot of people, I believe. So, again, not every comic they take 500. Some of them they take a lot less. Sometimes it's only 200 or 100 or whatever the case is, right? But for the MC1, they took 500. And everyone always says scarcity wins. But people didn't realize what I've been saying. So, again, I think all those variant covers are going to do amazing. But I think people will maybe gravitate towards those original covers a little bit more so than they are right now. So we've been seeing it since the very beginning. It's definitely increased. And I think it's only going to continue to increase, just my opinion. But that's one of the videos I definitely want to touch on today. And so real quick, back to your question, Gary. Once you're in this web app, go to the store. And there's a new tab here. So we've always had collectibles. Comics was that new vertical. And this is a new one. Now, I'm sure sports is going to be in here. When sports comes, guys, I'm going to go crazy. I actually still believe in IP of like Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Mickey Mouse, Walt Disney. Like that IP, I believe in a little bit more. Gary Vee's touched on this a while ago, back in last March. It really comes down to the player, because when he was talking about NBA Top Shot, how many players are maybe going to last like a couple years, right, and then be out the league? Unless you have that Michael Jordan, LeBron James, a top player. I believe Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Walt Disney, these are going to outlive us, these sports players. So maybe more valuable with the IP we may already even have. But I think the excitement, the exposure. I know I've been a sports fan my whole life. I've been more of a sports fan than I would say like superheroes. So just for the fun aspect of it, I can't wait for sports to come to the app. I'm going to be so excited to collect some of my favorite players. And I would definitely try to get like a LeBron or Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Muhammad Ali if it drops, right? A Mike Trout, even like a Babe. If they drop like historical pro athletes like Tom Brady. Some people have been saying this whole time Tom Brady's not coming to the VeVe app. No basketball players are because they have their own, autograph.io. And yeah, they have their own platform, but VeVe is completely different. There's not been an augmented reality 3D animated digital collectible of any of these athletes yet. So even though you can get your, NFT sign card or whatever on autograph.io or whatever the case is, right? DraftKings had NFTs of these players too. So we've already seen, DraftKings have Tom Brady, even though he has his own platform. So why would they not want to partner with VeVe and have a 3D animated digital collectible of a Tom Brady throwing a pass in augmented reality so kids could catch touchdown passes? Like, that's the way I see sports going. So I think it's just going to be a lot more fun. But unless we see like a limited Disney golden moment sports edition of like a Tiger Woods or a Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, like I'm going to be hodling a lot of my superhero, like Spider-Man Secret Rare, all that stuff I believe is going to be more valuable. But here's the artworks tab. Now you see it's lined up for other artworks in the future. This is the first one-of-one auction ever. Haven't left a bid just yet. I think I will place a bid though. I may place a bid on stream. And then you guys see how much I bid. You guys may outbid me. I'm just kidding. I don't think I have a chance to win at all. Maybe if I sold some of my duplicates back in January or February, I'd probably have, 40, 100K to play with. But because I held through the all-time highs, I do believe a lot of these big collectibles will get back. But it's just going to take time. I don't think everything's going to hit all-time highs again, but Secret Spidey, Walt Disney, even Todd, like Rizzo, like the big-time collectibles in my eyes, we haven't even scratched the surface in my opinion. But it's going to take time. There's going to be plenty of more amazing IP coming out. But when I think of historical collectibles and comics, that's what I go after. Like AF-15 ultra rare 500 editions. Got that one to go with my original cover 656 mint. So like stuff like that. So I saw a comment saying this is the top. I was like, people said that about the Walt. And it's one of those things where like when I believe in a collectible that's big time historical, I don't care if I even said at the time it could dip back to 2.2 and it's exactly what it did. But when I let go of something like a Todd, big time collectible, I'm not risking, a couple $100. I'm locking in another historical, huge comic or collectible for the long term. So, for me, I always look at that. Like, I'm not worried about a couple $100 retracements to where the potential I believe it could go. So that's also another thing to think about. But this is the artist tab, artworks tab. This is where you bid. You can only bid on the web app right now. You can't bid on the mobile phone. Let's take a look at some comments in here, huh? What are people saying about this? First comment right here. I wish they had a highest bid tracker on the artwork. Since it's a silent auction, that's the whole purpose of a silent auction. You can't see the bidding. Now, I think in the future, they will definitely open this up so people can see the bids because it's going to be like people will have watch shows over this, right? So for the first one, I don't think they want too much exposure, too much, promotion. They didn't market or promote this. Again, this isn't beta. They're just working out the kinks in this and all of this. That's why they're using someone who has a great relationship already with VeVe, Ron English. So I know everybody wants huge marketing push right now, but again, there's so many things that they have to still iron out that people aren't realizing. People just see all these brands, see everything, see the potential, and they're like, go to the moon now. It's like we're still filling up the rocket with fuel right now. We're still ironing out the web app. We can't even trade on the web app yet. We can't sell full sets on the web app. There's a lot of things that still have to get ironed out first before a huge marketing push. So I definitely see this as being like the first one ever. It's kind of like a trial. So they want to do a silent auction too, just to see where it stands, see what the highest bid is. Then in the future, when we start getting these legendary, Ron English is a legendary artist, but once we get more and more artists and we have like a top famous worldwide, known artist dropping a one-on-one of some crazy artwork, that's where I think we'll have some publicity, so maybe some promotion, definitely some public bids, because that's going to be a fun time to watch, right? Nobody really knows if this is going for 5,000, 10,000, if the bid's at 20,000 yet, right? Nobody really knows. So definitely interesting. I'm following all these people already. That's crazy. One thing is, too, if you guys have grown your following, for some people, I think it will be important. But it could change once the search bar is here, etc. But for now, the people who grind, I think, will be rewarded. So there's so many ways to grow your following. One way is to just follow as many people as you possibly can. I think I'm following like 11,000 people by now. And so you'll notice if you go into, comments, after a while, you'll be following the same people. Like the first two you saw was already following. So what you can do to switch that up, so it's like new people. When you go to, say, a random, I always go to brands, right? But I've been aware that I usually click on like the same brands. And so when you click on the same brands, there's like the same people in the market. So you probably already, like if I go to Todd, I can almost bet I'm going to be following the first, see, I'm following everyone because I've already done it a bunch of times. So go to collectibles and comics that you never click on. Like for me, let's see here. Go through. Stitch is one that I never really go on. Batman. All right, here we go. And so also you can go to commons because commons will probably be newer users as opposed to maybe secret rares who have a little bit more cash to spend, gems. It's not always the case, but if you go to commons, boom, perfect example. I'm glad that just worked out exactly how I wanted to. Because you'll find that if you click on stuff that you don't normally click on, you'll see a whole range of new faces, basically. I think Born sounds familiar. Yeah. I follow. I think I did just go to Stitch recently to do this, but that's basically the point. Like, click on stuff that you don't normally click on. Comics too. Like, if you are big on clicking on the brands, go to like artworks that you don't normally click on. That way you'll find new users, and it's just a little bit quicker that way. But hopefully that answers your question, Gary. Just a web app. Drew NFTV dubs only. Pay stacking this comic. Sounds good. Look forward to seeing you live on these drops. Appreciate that big time, Freddie Cox. And like I said, guys, after this month, after September, I would say, so it's not September just yet. It feels like September. My golf tournament's last weekend in September, so I've been trying to put all my focus into that. I just want to see how good I can do if I put all my effort, all my focus into it for the last few months, really last year. But it's crunch time these last few months. So after September, I want to say October is when I'm really just going to start leveling up the channel. Bring a bunch of you guys. I think I'm going to redo my subscription too on YouTube. It's going to be like all VeVe related stuff. Like I know Superstar Money, VeVe and 3, you guys are killing it with all that kind of stuff. You guys actually inspired me to kind of change up my subscription type thing on YouTube. So I think it's going to be fun. Like people who sign up for the highest, subscription or whatever you want to call it, family member tier or whatever the case is, have you guys come up on the live stream, do a little chat, other content creators, celebrities. And I think it's going to be fun too, because I've built little relationships with some big time people that have been in the community for a while now that maybe you might not know about. And I think once you start hearing some of these millionaires that are invested in Akomi and VeVe, it may just help get you to see the light at the end of the tunnel, because I could tell you guys how great VeVe is nonstop, right? But after a while, it's like, well, is this guy really, serious? Is this guy just saying this? So I can understand that. So once I bring on people like a Chris Moneymaker maybe one day, or who knows, right? I think it's just going to offer a different perspective that could be very valuable. So Yeah, definitely good luck, Henry. Everybody else. Will the market dip lower? That's $1 million question. We don't really know, right? I think some people are placing their bets that it could based on the economy. For me, I've always said, I'm holding on to my big time collectibles and comics that I see high value in. I don't want to, I don't want to risk selling my Todd, selling my Walt, selling my Spider-Man, like sell my big time stuff to try to time the market to get in earlier. Like for me, I'm holding that stuff. Maybe I've let go of some of my stuff that I don't love, like some of my comics that I just got for MCP points. Even though I don't want to let go of anything in this bear market, I've had to find a way to get a little bit of liquidity, and I was okay with letting go of some of the stuff I didn't love, like some of the random comics, because I got my collection to where I feel like I want it, and because I had a ton of extra duplicates and collectibles and comics, so I was able to kind of make those moves. But y'all stacking or slacking? Let's get into some videos, huh? I actually have your video up here, Dr. Strange. All things strange. Hey, DB. You had a pretty long video, though. It was like 15 minutes, so I'm not going to watch the whole thing. I kind of just skimmed through it, and I saw the price prediction part, so I have that up. So we'll go over your little price prediction here, see what you think, see what you're thinking. I think I pretty much agree with it, too. See, Spill, good morning, good morning. Did Johnny bid on the auction? You guys are going to have to outbid my $50,000 bid if you guys want dinner with David. I'm just kidding. I wish. I saw Gail talk about that the other day on Twitter. He goes, I'd probably be in the running for this dinner and the NFT if I sold a couple of my duplicates back at the all-time high. I felt the same way. I was like, dang, could have like the problem with that thinking though is, I've always thought that too. Like hindsight's always 2020. But like you would if I sold my duplicate Walt, right? I've been so blessed to have made so many great decisions to where if I have one regret, my one VeVe regret, which I still don't even see as a regret because of what I'm about to explain why, but I would say not letting go of my duplicate Walt when it was at 40K. But the problem with that is I would have had to hold on to all those gems for 7 months without spending it in the market to have that liquidity to either buy a bunch of OMI or have that liquidity for these VeVe NFTs right now. And I think and the reason why I'm not that upset and why I would say it's not even a regret is because what I probably would have done, even if I said I wouldn't, I probably would have spent maybe half of that along those 7 months on all these other NFTs in the marketplace that all dropped down too. So when I think about it, I'd probably be left with a lot more collectibles and comics, maybe a lot more sets, but I would still only have the one Walt. Yeah, maybe I could buy one back, but so I would say if I have a regret, that would be my one regret. But again, I'm so happy that I still hold on to those two Walt Disneys and Mickey Mouse because at the end of the day, people forget because they just call it the Walt. This is first appearance of Walt Disney and the first appearance of Mickey Mouse. What would the first appearance of Mickey Mouse be if it was the Steamboat Willie or if it was an all gold Mickey Mouse by itself? So the fact that we have that and Walt together, I'm pretty happy with myself that I still have two. So, but no, Spill, I haven't bid yet. I think I will place a small bid, just to say I participated in like history. But haven't placed a bid yet. Hey, VeVe vibes for 2069. That's hilarious. I didn't think you were gonna say that one, VeVe vibes. I thought that would come from someone else. Shout out to Vibes. What catalyst are you anticipating to trigger all-time high price prediction? Great question, real talk. Is VeVe too big to fail? Appreciate that big time for the super chat. And great two questions here. I do believe VeVe's too big to fail. Now, of course, nothing in the world is 100% guaranteed, but I think VeVe is as close to as guaranteed as you can get, in my opinion, because when you think about it, they have Disney's entire IP. They didn't just get, imagine if an NFT platform had Pixar. That'd be huge. That's just like a Monday drop in VeVe. And that's another thing that I think was Pirates when we talked about this. Shout out to Chad. He always talked about when he looks at other NFT projects, a lot of them are really cool and they have like all utility and like a cool roadmap and everything, but it's like that could be like a Tuesday drop on VeVe, right? And that's mind blowing to think about. That's why I say like we're all kind of spoiled of what we've been given, because yeah, they keep dropping legendary IP, which in the short term it could hurt the market, it could hurt our bags, right? But once I would say for your other question, I don't think there's just going to be one thing that triggers all-time high. Like I don't think there's going to be like an announcement and things go crazy, right? I don't think that. I think I think what's going to happen is it's hard to see this because we're living this out in real time. Think back when Napster happened. Think back when LimeWire happened. Before iTunes. It's hard to think about that, but it happened, right? Before iTunes, we had Napster and LimeWire, and it was the wild, wild west of music, of digital music. Back then, people were literally saying, I'm never going to do that. Digital music streaming is a fad. It won't last. Like, you want that tangible CD or that tangible record. And so CDs became portable. People are listening to their Walkman, right? And we lived through that transition. It wasn't like overnight, right? People love digital music streaming. It was a process, right? It was, a few years to play out. I would say a few to 5 years. And what happened was Napster, LimeWire, all this kind of wild, wild west digital music was regulated. And I've always said, OpenSea, we were living in the LimeWire era of NFTs. Once it all kind of gets regulated, like it or not, I think we're kind of living through what's happening right now with all these, scams popping up, all kinds of crazy stuff, right? In the wild, wild west, it's going to eventually get regulated. And so once it gets regulated, I believe what's going to happen is people are going to start to understand and be more open to, digital collecting, sort of just like what happened with digital music streaming. LimeWire, Napster, boom, got out, right? Crashed, got regulated, those got out the way, and we had iTunes, a premium licensed digital music platform. I see that being VeVe, premium licensed digital collectible platform. Just like how the Wild Wild West of music got regulated and turned into a licensed digital asset, you could say, that's unlimited. The difference with VeVe is the digital collectible space was the Wild Wild West got regulated, and that's when we have that mentality shift and the whole phenomenon of the world start to get into digital collectibles from licensed brands, the biggest licensed brands in the world. So it's going to take time, in my opinion, real talk. Maybe a year, maybe a couple years, maybe a few years, right? But I think that with a combination, I think it's going to be like a perfect storm of things, right? This regulation was almost necessary because the one video I made a while back was talking about how when people hear NFTs right now, they dismiss it right away. Red flags go up. They think it's a crypto scam or what they think of like an expensive random animal picture, because that's all they equate NFTs to. Once that mentality shifts, which it takes time. That's why I love NFT platforms like the cows. I think that has a chance because that augmented reality, it's a digital collectible. But platforms like VeVe is going to be that revolutionary collectible platform to where over time people start to see value in it because it's limited. The difference with that music is that it's an unlimited copy, right? You can buy it, I can buy it, everyone in the world can buy a copy. With VeVe collectibles, they're limited. Even though it's digital, proof of ownership through the blockchain is instantaneous. So how many people in the world are going to want the first appearance of Superman, the first appearance of Spider-Man, the first appearance of Batman, first appearance of Disney characters? Especially once we can make these digital collectibles verified as our profile picture on social media, it's going to be game-changing in my opinion. So I think that combined with NFT or Omi to NFT, real talk, I think that combined with once the VeVe app gets a little bit more finished, these big brands, now people who are against it, they see Marvel promoting heavy VeVe digital comics. Now those people that were on the fence are saying, wait, my favorite brand of all time is telling me to go download VeVe. Let me think about this a little bit. So I think it's going to be that perfect storm of being legit. People can cash out now. These big brands are going to promote us. People are starting to be more accepted of these digital collectibles and comics. I think it's just going to be a combination. When will you be completing your Walt Dynasty? Man, I don't know how many. I think probably 50 Disney Golden Moments there are, right? But I always thought they're going to release Disney Golden Sports Moments one day because they own ESPN. So I always thought since they released utility as Disney Plus, they could release utility as ESPN Plus. And I'm going to go crazy for those sports Golden Moments. Yeah, I agree, Vibes, 100%. 100%. And I think that one still is gonna get there because people will realize that's the first appearance of Mickey Mouse in real life. It's just like that AF-15. It's not first appearance of Spider-Man comic on VeVe. That's the first appearance of Spider-Man in real life. So that's why I believe big time in Steamboat Willie. Ooh. It's tough to say that, real talk, just because, I mean, the benefit of VeVe is that they don't just have Disney. They have DC. They have everything, right? They have every brand in the world. And that was talked about when, I think it was the owner of Disney. Like, I think it was the owner. I'm not sure. There's an interview of one of the executives at Disney talking about how they're not going to buy VeVe. It's way too early for that, too, just because. And he talked about how the upside, like the great thing about VeVe is that they don't just have all Disney products, right? If Disney bought them and they had all just Disney, that would kind of, like, that isn't their goal, right? They're trying to have every fandom in the world all in one app. So Vibes, telling it like it's real. I think it will just take time. We got the legend in the building. Shout out to Sleeping Comics, my guy. How we doing, Sleeping? Sleeping, Comics and Crypto. Two OG comic, I would say, gurus. Always love picking their minds, picking their brains. Guys, make sure you go follow Sleeping Comics. Can't wait to have a Sleeping Comics number 77 right next to the Drop podcast hat. It's going to be amazing. I think I am going to start wearing hats too. Is yours a fitted hat, Sleeping, or do you have like a little, like a, what are they even called? I don't know, but like a non-fitted hat. Because this one's non-fitted, and I feel like I can fit my little bun in the back of it finally now. I'm sure we'll get that eventually, C-Spill. What to do, LJ? Speaking of LJ, I know you're excited for the Fantasy Football League. I think I'm going to finally be opening up this weekend. Snapback, that's it. Let's go, snapback. Yeah, that's it. Sleeping, let me know. Is yours a fitted hat or is yours a snapback? But I think I'm going to be opening up this weekend, and we'll probably have a draft sometime end of this month, weekend, like last weekend of this month. Adjustable, let's go. It may not be a snapback, but as long as it's adjustable, I can fit my long hair. What's crazy is I used to wear hats every day. Like, I used to have so many fitted hats back in the day. It was just a style. But the last 3 years since I've been growing out my hair, maybe 4 years now, I haven't worn hats at all. So it's just a weird dynamic. Let's get it. Can't wait. Yeah, it's going to be a fun time, I think, LJ. I'm not in too many leagues this year, which I've tried not, so I could kind of make sure I'm active and into all of them. I'm going to be in the Influencer Fantasy Football League again. We'll start that up soon eventually. Try to go back-to-back. Winner of that one. I don't know what the prize is going to be this year. Last year was a Nightwing. So I had a third Nightwing. Traded that for the House of Cards set. Pretty happy with that. And then I lost the Omi Fantasy Football League with a bunch of people from the community. So then this will be, and I'm running that one back, hoping to win that one. Got 14 people in that one, though, so big league. And then the one I'm doing with you guys, I don't know how many people we'll have. Probably don't want to be more than 14. 14, 16-ish. That's probably going to be the limit. So I don't know how I'm going to be like deciding to pick. Maybe we'll just see who wants to be in it. And then if there is more than 14, 16 people, we'll probably have to do like some kind of raffle or something to see who gets the slots. Yeah, exactly, Gary. And it's one of those things where, yeah, short-term prices may go up, may go down a little bit. Who knows? But that's why I've always just been focused on like the big IP stuff. I think there's a lot of great artwork on there from independent artists that could be huge too. But for me, it just feels like a safer play long-term when I think about what are people going to love in, a few years from now, 10 years down the road, etc. So I always think about, those kinds of things from that perspective. But we got running out of time here before the drop. We got 14 minutes left, so let me dive into a couple more videos today. Let's go stacking or slacking. Let's quick couple minutes of this video. This is from All Things Strange, awesome YouTuber. Always, it's got like a new series, stacking or slacking. I love it. 16-minute long video, so we're just gonna dive into 2 minutes of it. Kind of go over his price predictions for this one.
Let me do a little price prediction. Yeah. Let me do one of those, man.
I might get copyrighted for this video, but oh
well. So if I had to do a price prediction on this book, I'm gonna say that in the market, this is gonna land somewhere around $7.24.
I like the details, the cents.
I think after the drop, it'll hit a low of like $4.30. It'll start creeping up in the fives for a little while. It'll creep up maybe above. It might be like right at retail, the common at least. You know what I'm saying? I can see the common being above, like right around retail. The uncommon around $7 to $8. I think that the rare is gonna go for around like
15,
16, 18 bucks.
Yep.
The ultra rare somewhere around 23, 24 to 28, 29 bucks. And I think that the secret rare has a good shot of really like breaking the mold of some of the other books, secret rares. We get some that hitting $80, $90, $100. I think this one actually will settle around like 160 to 180. So we're around there because this is it really pays homage to the vintage cover and just embodies her right there. Like,
it's good artwork.
This cover has a lot of other people on it, and it's a lot going on, and it's like, okay, that's her before she hulks out. You get it? And that's what makes this a beast right here. It's just her. I like it. And just the way it's drawn, like, it is savage. You know what I mean? Like, I just like that. So,
okay, pretty solid price predictions. I would actually agree with most of that. I would say the secret rare may settle around like a little lower, like 150-ish. I think it's going to go above 100, maybe like 125 to 150-ish, just because it's a solid comic book. I mean, FA of a character that I think will continue to grow. And I just think, I think a lot of people will pass on it, but the people that do, they'll probably go for maybe stack commons and probably grab secret rare. So because of that, I think it's a pretty solid price prediction right there, brother. Again, make sure you guys go follow All Things Strange, VeVe. Great content as well. Let's give some love to Giant Size Comics. Let's see what he's doing for this comic, huh? This is a real life physical comic collector who just got in the VeVe app. Shout out to Dan Shawbell, kind of schooling him, teaching him the ways a little bit, showing him what's up. And I think this guy is going to provide a lot of value to the community. So make sure you guys go follow Giant Size Comics. Like his videos, ask him questions in the comments. I think he's just going to be a valuable asset to the community. He's having fun, and he sees a lot of value in these comics too. And I think it's the very beginning. I think we're going to start to see a lot more physical comic collectors start to understand the value in digital comics that are licensed by Marvel. That's the kicker. These aren't just random comic books, guys. These are licensed premium digital comics.
Guys, first off, I just want to say thank you to all the people that shouted out my videos. I really appreciate it. Within the first, I think 2 days, I got about 200 new followers on YouTube. Kind of crazy. So I really appreciate every single one of you that shouted me out on Twitter, on YouTube, everywhere. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So today we're going to be talking about the Savage She-Hulk drop on VeVe for tomorrow. Will I buy it? Will I not? No, I'm not going to buy it. I don't think She-Hulk is a great character. If you saw the Disney trailer, it wasn't that great. And honestly, the CGI was not great at all. So I'm definitely not going to buy into this character. It's a solid Bronze Age key. At one point, the 9.8 was going for around $1,000, which is a solid, $1,000. But it dropped down to $800, and it's just not a solid book for me. Personally, I'd rather not go on that drop and just buy the common once it comes out, because I think it will be at roughly $3 to $4 for a common.
I agree.
And just based on the physical copy, it's just not worth that much money. Now, the secret rare, I believe, may be going for around 2 to 300 max. There's 20,000 editions coming out and 500 secret rares. So, I probably won't even buy the secret rare for this comic. I don't love it. The character, for me, is nothing special. She's going to be in a Disney Plus show. I think it's coming out today or tomorrow, one of the two. Trailer wasn't great. Not an amazing character. It is a Bronze Age key, but instead of getting that drop, I'd rather get something else, to be honest. So that's mostly it for that. Also, I just got a comic back from CGC. Check this out. Werewolf by Night 32 physical copy, 9.4. So this is worth around $8,500. I will be selling this on eBay or anywhere else I can. I put that money towards VeVe Comics. I still want Fantastic Four #1 and Fantastic Four #5 secret rares. That's my goal right now. And yeah, guys, I'm still selling physical rails to get more VeVe Comics. Some collectors are calling me crazy because I'm doing that, which I completely understand. I went to my LCS to pick this up from CGC from him, and he called me crazy as well. You know why? It's the old mindset of physical comics will always be worth more. Maybe that's true. But you know what? It's so easy to deal on VeVe. I don't have to deal with shipping this comic once I sell it. I can get whatever I want. I just like it way more than physical comics. I know a lot of collectors may not agree with me. I get that. I really respect your opinion. I really do. So like some people may not like digital. I get it. That's just how it is. But you know what? I think
and he has a great point there, right? Some people will never like it. Just in the same way, if you talk to maybe your parents or grandparents or who knows, maybe a person walking down the street, they may still tell you, I haven't bought a digital music or I haven't streamed digital music ever. I don't like digital music. I like my record player. I like touch it. There's going to be people like that, and that's not wrong. That's perfectly okay because that's just their opinion. It's just what they're into, right? Some people may not ever like the digital comics, just like the digital music, but I think there will be a huge wave of people to understand the value of what's happening. It was just like me. He talked about how it takes forever to sell a physical comic book. There's so much. That was my struggle when I had found my Pokemon cards. I was like, all right, let me sell them. Let me get a couple thousand, put it in the VeVe, and I was like, wait, I have to ship this out, get it graded, wait a year, and then find people that want to buy it after that. I was like, what? This is 2022. That didn't seem right to me. And I was just blessed that I found VeVe like the next day. I was like, this is what I was looking for. Instantly sell it. Instantly verified, authenticated.
Okay, I was watching Johnny.
Let's go.
YouTuber, check him out if you can.
Oh, man.
CDs. He was saying that back in the day, people were really sticking to their CDs, but then Spotify came out, and then you have to go with the times. You know what I mean? So CDs now are kind of obsolete. Everyone's on Spotify. So times do change, and I get it. These physical comics may always stick around, which I believe they should because they have historical significance.
Absolutely.
And just based on the rarity of grade, I think it has its own merit to actually have its value.
And that's the thing, too. He's spot on with what he just said there because 6 minutes to the drop, just make sure we don't forget. People also think when people get defensive that are against digital comics because they think it's a threat to their physical comics. But Comics and Crypto made an amazing article. I'm going to try to find that for the next live stream and maybe go over that with you guys. Amazing. I don't know if it was with Go Collect or not, but he talked about in the article how it's just promoting each other. It's 100% the truth. Look at me. I would have never bought a physical comic book if it wasn't for VeVe. Even physical collectibles, I'm really not buying if it wasn't for VeVe. So once these physical comic collectors that are selling these comics that are maybe threatened, once they realize that it's a promotion for the physical, they go hand in hand. People who have the digital want the physical, and people who have the physical will probably want the digital. That's when they're going to start to open up their minds, in my opinion.
I get that. But in the future, you never know how the world will be. I think that digital comics do have a space because it is worldwide, right? So someone from Greece or Italy or anywhere else that they have no, contact with physical comics or they can't buy it, they have the ability now on VeVe. So I just like it.
It opens up the entire world. Anyone who has an iPhone is now a potential comic book collector, which that broadens the audience of who's a collector exponentially. Think of how niche it is to be a physical comic collector, to know how to get it, to have the ability to go get it. The ease of access is now in everybody's hand. How everyone who has an iPhone is potentially a VeVe collector. And these aren't just random comic book guys. These are licensed by Marvel, licensed by Disney.
That anyone in the world can buy a VeVe comic and they can sell it if they want and get their money and buy something else or whatever they want to do. So guys, that's my rant for today. For the She-Hulk drop tomorrow, I'm not a buyer for that. If you want to wait, definitely get the common, probably. Even I won't even get that. Not a great character in my perspective. And the show is coming out. Could be a good show, but I just don't like the way it looks, to be honest. And yeah, guys, I'm still selling big rails to get more VeVe comics because I just believe in it. All right, guys, thank you so much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.
Amazing video, brother. Keep up the great work. You're going to be a huge, valuable asset to the community. I think you're killing it, and I love your mindset. And solid idea. He's not going for this comic. And that's the thing, right? He talked about how it is key, but for him, he just feels like his money would be better spent elsewhere, which is perfectly fine. I feel that's kind of the same mindset that I have too on this one. So let's see. I think we're going to dive into VeVe and threes right after the drop. Give us some knowledge about this comic book. If you should maybe pick it up in the market, if you shouldn't. Yeah, I think it's a okay one to get for long term. But if you're, don't have a lot of gems to spend or anything like that, I think, in my opinion, not financial advice. Anything I say is not financial advice, guys. Just my opinions. I think it could be better options in the market, possibly. But if you like this character, if you like the movie, if you like the comic, there's nothing wrong with going for it again. Let's see. This one's about 4 minutes long. We're not going to watch all of it, so we'll just dive into the first couple minutes.
What is up, my comics and crypto?
3 minutes to the drop,
and
guys.
Welcome back to Hodl or Sell, where we'll be breaking down the Savage She-Hulk #1. In the end, we will let you know if we plan to hodl or sell. As always, this is not financial advice, but purely for entry. Bronze Age comic, The Savage She-Hulk #1. First appearance of She-Hulk. Story by Stan Lee, with art by John Buscema and Chick Stone, and covered by John
2 minutes and
Buscema
45
and
seconds.
Joe Sinnott. In this comic, we are introduced to Jennifer Walters, a talented lawyer and the cousin of Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk. After being shot by mobsters and seriously injured, she is saved by an emergency blood transfusion from Bruce. With his gamma-irradiated blood coursing through her veins, Jennifer now has the ability to mutate into the superhero known as She-Hulk. Portrayed by the amazing and talented Tatiana Maslany, She-Hulk makes her MCU debut in the new Disney Plus series Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. Oh, sorry, wrong series. The new Disney Plus series She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, premiering August 18th.
2 minutes.
According to Go Collect, the Savage She-Hulk #1 as a 9.8 grade is currently valued at $725, with a 90-day average sale of $807. There are also 3 9.9 graded comics, with a recent sale back in March of 2022 for $27,250. Before we get our final verdict, we want to remind you that digital slabs are now available at cherrycharts.com. This video is sponsored by Elite Comics 11, Instagram's #1 community-powered comic sales page.
Minute 25
For
left.
our final verdict, we give this comic a hodl.
Ooh.
The Savage She-Hulk #1 in physical format is very popular. It's not very scarce, but even with 2,465 9.8 graded books and over 12,000 graded books in total, the comic has held up well in terms of value. Not to mention the story itself is really fun and introduces readers to a new, strong, female-led series.
Great video, guys. We're going to stop it right there because we only got a minute left, and then we're going to do VeVe and threes video. Dun thumbs. How we doing? How we doing? VeVe and 3. Minute left. I got to see what you guys are talking about. Let's see. Let me know in the chat. Is anybody going for this one? Morning, you renegades. Good luck if you go for it. Again, guys, if you guys don't know how to get to the drop, which you guys probably do know how by now, go to that store tab, click on that She-Hulk drop, scroll down, and right where the timer is, that's where the buy now is going to pop up. And 1 second after 0 is when it pops up. I think we'll probably be able to see the buy now and then react to it. So we probably shouldn't have to time this one. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Buy now. Wow, that was amazing. I'm not going for it, but I just wanted to see if I could time it. Wow, that was amazing. Hopefully you guys saw right there like how I do time it. I start my click before I even see the buy now. That was honestly unbelievable. I just clicked out of it. I think it, like Comics and Crypto said, I think it could do well long term. It's a key. It's an older book. You know, it's pretty popular. But again, if you're tight on gems and you don't really love this comic, I don't think it's a bad idea to miss it. For me, I don't know anything about this character. I don't love this character. I did just spend a pretty good amount of gems on the comic books that I do have to kind of solidify my collection for myself. So I'm going to be passing on this one. Yeah, curious. I mean, I do think that. I think AF-15 is one of those books that really turned the page for a lot of those physical collectors. For the first time, I saw literally people tweeting out, "Get the common. It's the original cover." And I was like, shout out to Mr. Pags. I think Mr. Pags put out a tweet saying that. And I was like, let's go. I was like, see, something as big of a book as that. Now those collectors are like, whoa, get the original cover. And I was like, where was this last October when I was getting called the Moon Boy? Doesn't know anything about comics. What are you doing? You're an idiot. So I do think that Kurosemi, I think this is one of those books where even if people are against NFTs and they're a comic collector and they see the original cover of AF-15, they're doing a double take and they're going to start to go down the rabbit hole. I do think that, absolutely. Like for me, that's a holy grail comic book. Like I keep thinking about the bigger ones, like Hulk. That's another huge comic book that I think will come to the VeVe app. But I still don't think it's going to be more than AF-15. The only ones that I see beating AF-15 in my eyes is if we get maybe an Action Comics 1 that has less editions, like 1,000 total of editions, that could rival it. That could maybe beat it. And I thought by then we're probably going to have a lot more users on the app. Maybe we have the drop system queue where I could use my MCP points for it. It's not even a lock to get it in because it could be so long down the road. So I wanted to make sure I got a holy grail. FA Spider-Man. I got the common 3-digit and the ultra rare. And the other one that I could see maybe is like if we get the first ever Batman, right? That could be huge too. And it depends on the edition count. But again, my whole thinking is like that could be down the road. We could have a whole new drop system by then. So I feel like it's an opportunity right now to get AF-15. Absolutely hard to grow in a bear market like this. Absolutely VeVe vibes. And that's the thing too. Look how many content creators we all have, or not that we all have. Look how many content creators VeVe has all around, right? It's truly amazing to see because this time last year, what month is it? August? All right, so we did have some more. But I would say like March, April, May, you couldn't find a VeVe video if it wasn't like Alcon from 2018. So it is truly amazing and remarkable to see what's happening right now. And it's only going to get more and more content creators, I believe, in the future. Yeah, that guy's content is amazing. Shout out to Giant Size Comics. A lot of Tobies. The physical ones you can't even open or enjoy it 100%. Like that one's just sitting there. I can't read it. It's just sitting there. Absolutely. It could break like it has. I should get it reslabbed, honestly. And I'm probably going to ruin it, but we'll see what happens. I need to get it signed and then reslabbed, honestly. I think you meant 8.5K, right? 85K is a whole lot more Tobies. Wow, let's go. Sleeping, if you're still here. Oh, yeah, you are here. You're not weak at all, my man. That would be awesome. I would love to see that. Even Sleeping, even just you talking with him. Yeah, it would be amazing to see. I told him like I would love to have him on my show in October. You guys should definitely collab, do a little show together. Vivian3 said shipping is the worst. Heather and I run an eBay store side, hustling, selling Magic the Gathering cards. Oh, that's awesome, man. No matter how well you package, some people dispute and say it came damaged. Wow. And that's just out of your control, right? If you buy one of my comics and you say it's damaged, I'm going straight to David Yu. I was kidding. That's the thing, right? It's pristine every time, digital. Dum Thumbs, how we doing the drop today? I think it probably will sell out. It says sold out. Yep, sold out. Like I said, I think this comic's going to do pretty well, guys. I think it's a pretty popular comic long term. I think it should do pretty good. Let's see if the market's open. Let's see. All right, so the common's at $4. There's 86 in the market. Solid price prediction so far, guys. $5 for the uncommon. Rare is 29. Ultra rare is 39. Pretty high. There's only 12 ultra rares though, so I think it could come down. Secret rares are starting at $299. Let's go 300. But again, there's only 8 in the market, so expect that to come down, in my opinion. Got a capture. Hey, let's go, Vivian3. You got 5 of them. Hopefully you got to get at least one good rarity in there. We got Punch in the building. How we doing, Punch? How many did you get today? I know you went hard on this comic. Yeah, shout out to Heather, like in this one. And yeah, I think Giant Size said like the trailer or something at first didn't look great either, but who knows, right? If you dive into the movie or the show, I would say, could end up being a good show. Let's go. Yeah, that's the thing, right? You got to watch it with an open mind, because if you go in there thinking you're going to hate it, you're going to like criticize every bad part about it. So definitely go in there with an open mind. November 2021, there's only like 12 VeVe-tubers. That is an amazing name, by the way. I didn't even think about VeVe-tubers, but that's going to be the new key word. That's going to be the word. Are you a VeVe-tuber? Wow. Vibes just hit the nail on the head with this one, brother. Even back in November, there's only like maybe 12. That's crazy. Yep, the Dirty Gem set us back, definitely. I agree, Punch. And that was the thing that another reason why they didn't want to have a huge, heavy marketing push, right? There's so many things that they still have to iron out. They're in beta still. So, yeah, that definitely hurt a lot of us. And I did not do a good job at removing myself and looking at the situation from like an outside view. And if so, I might have let go of one of my dupes, but I'm also so glad I still have 2 of them. So is what it is. I think it's just one of those things where you just learn a lesson, and you can't really control the things you can't control. And that's definitely one of those things we can't control. So yeah, exactly. You just got to kind of, things are going to bounce back, in my opinion. It's just kind of what Vibe said, it's just going to take time. That's why I think it's important to position yourself right now into the comics and collectibles you absolutely love and you see big value in the future, because VeVe's not dying. VeVe's not dead. If you think it's dead, then that's amazing, because look at some of these prices still, right? Yes, VeVe is a game changer. It really is. Let's dive into Vivian3's video. Sorry, guys, I didn't get into your video beforehand. I didn't think I was going to talk that long today. Gave this one a watch. Gave this one a watch. Make sure you guys go follow Giant Size Comics too. Incredible resource, and I think it's just going to continue to be a valuable asset in the community.
Welcome back to VeVe with me, Corey, aka Old Rhubarb on VeVe, and Heather.
I think I'm going to join soon
medical
too.
Appointments this evening, so again, you're stuck with me. But the good news is we're getting another new comic on the platform, and this one again lines up with the Disney Plus series release. The Savage She-Hulk #1 is releasing on Thursday, August 18th at 8 a.m. Pacific time. And like I just mentioned, this one lines up perfectly with the release date of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. And this series has been hotly disputed by Marvel fanboys. While some criticisms are valid, others come from a lack of understanding of this character's comic origins. And by the end of this video, you'll be hip to the character, the comic, and the variants that are coming to VeVe. Let's get into this thing. The Savage She-Hulk was the first of a 25 comic run, and it introduced us to Jennifer Walters. Releasing on February 10th of 1980, the first issue was written by Stan Lee, while the rest were passed to writer David Anthony Kraft. And the reason Stan Lee was hell-bent on getting this issue out and basically stepping away from it immediately is likely because Lou Ferrigno was absolutely crushing the Hulk role on CBS, a smash hit series he headlined from 1978 to 1982. Stan Lee was already trying to work television angles and likely was feeling the regret of licensing their properties out to Universal. And what this character, She-Hulk, would do for Marvel is give them something that they own 100% completely and they wouldn't have to bargain and get back. Notice how we only get cameo appearances for the Hulk and no standalone movies in the current MCU? That's because Universal still owns the rights to Hulk.
Wow.
As for this comic, at the start of it, Jennifer gets shot. Her work as a lawyer made her a target. Fortunately, her cousin Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, was there to render medical aid. Beyond moonlighting as a green rage monster, Banner is also a brilliant scientist. Sharing the same blood type because he's her cousin, he gave her a transfusion of his blood to save her life. And boom! She gained his gamma radiation and powers. Now, there are some major differences between She-Hulk and the Hulk in terms of their powers. First, unlike Bruce Banner, who transforms into the Hulk when he gets enraged, Jennifer Walters is pretty much always She-Hulk in terms of her appearance. And unlike the Hulk, who absolutely loses his mind when he transforms, Jennifer remains in control of her hulked-out body. And this original character would get some refinement over time as other writers stepped in to take that place. And probably the most influential and arguably the most popular run was The Sensational She-Hulk by John Byrne. He developed the mood and feel of the character, and it appears we're seeing that rendition being referenced in some ways with the upcoming Disney Plus series. John Byrne's version in The Sensational She-Hulk had her breaking the fourth wall in the comics, talking to readers via the panels, and he sort of developed an important theme, body acceptance. While Bruce Banner is ashamed and horrified by what he turns into whenever he rages out and becomes the Hulk, She-Hulk doesn't get that luxury because she's always She-Hulk, so she kind of has to come to terms with her new appearance. We've seen the trailer for She-Hulk Attorney at Law that the moment she wakes up and is conscious, she reverts back to her She-Hulk form. And this idea of a strong woman having to accept her appearance and who she was, it was more than just a feminist push in comics back then because male and female readers alike could relate to the fact that a lot of us have to sort of cope with certain things about our bodies that we don't like. It made her relatable to a wide breadth of readers. And we just gotta hope that this Disney Plus show stays somewhat true to that original concept. In terms of physical value, this comic, cased at high grade, sits around $1,000. You'll notice a fair number of these have been preserved. During the Bronze Age of comics, which spanned from 1970 to around 1985, comic collecting in value began to take hold. Price guides began to be published, and key comics like this one were likely hoarded by collectors of that era when they were released. And we're also getting our VeVe exclusive rare and ultra rare covers. These ones are coming from Nicoletta Balderi. Marvel has really been utilizing Balderi for a lot of their female-focused character variants, which is something that's been translating onto the platform as well. Now, before we tackle the rest of these covers, a quick shout-out to the Rhubarb Patch family. We have a new member, Clever Jerk. Super stoked to have you join the patch. Always enjoy our Twitter chats and you taking the time to remind me when important comics are publishing in real life. And speaking of, I was at the comic shop with Heather and my youngest, grabbing a Scotty Young variant and the
I thought that was Scotty Young.
First appearance.
Scotty Young's artwork is so noticeable. I was gonna stop it, but I was like, it's not relatable to the video, so I didn't want to stop it. But I thought that was Scotty Young, and for me to recognize artwork that easily, that should tell you something because I'm usually not that good at it. So Scotty Young has such a noticeable artwork. I love it, and I think it's going to continue to grow too.
Appearance comic when in the corner of my eye I saw a movement and someone said VeVe in 3. Lo and behold, I met one of my viewers, Nate. It was awesome
Let's
meeting
go.
you. What a trip.
Celebrity
of all the places
status.
in the world. Lexington, Kentucky. Let's go. All right, let's dig into the rest of these variants. First, the classic cover is minting 12,000 editions. This exact replica of the original comic features artwork by John Buscema. Remember how we mentioned Stan Lee was the writer for this lone book in the series? You can see they use that to their benefit on the placard. Stan Lee proudly presents. Wild to think that 42 years after this comic first appeared, She-Hulk would be getting her own television show. Stan's efforts to get their characters on TV and movies is paying off to this very day. The uncommon vintage variant is minting 4,500 editions. Color selection on Jennifer Walters being overcome by She-Hulk makes this a striking cover due to the centering of the character and contrasting colors. For many folks, the uncommon color selection variants are largely ignored, but we're seeing more and more people collect these and post about them, as the reduced edition size reference to the original comic and aesthetic display potential has made them more sought after. The Rare Hero variant is minting 2,000 editions. This exclusive variant features what Nicoletta Balderi is known for, vibrant colors and character design that feels very Disney-ish. While some find these covers a little cartoonish, she has been growing a fan base who actively seek out her variants. From the folks we talk to, they either love or hate this style, but that is art for you. The color selection sticks to She-Hulk, and it's good to see the original comic placard making its way into the top left hand as it grounds the book in its history. The ultra-rare Vibranium variant is minting 1,000 editions. Edge-to-edge color makes this variant stand out in a big way. If you look at many of Nicoletta's variants and covers that exist both physically and on the platform, this design backdrop is part of her signature design. If you've watched Ms. Marvel or Into the Spider-Verse, you'll see how this cartoon style is becoming more and more popular with fans of both comics and the MCU. Last, the True Believer Secret Rare is minting 500 editions. This is an interior panel selection secret rare, and here's the panel it's being sourced from. The henchmen had returned to finish the job, but this time they wouldn't be dealing with Jennifer Walters. They'd be dealing with She-Hulk. Needless to say, she wrecks everyone and then has to replace her destroyed hospital gown. A quick announcement before I sign off. VeVe official Twitter has posted the next collectible
new drop.
We're seeing 2 Mr. Fantastic collectibles. We don't know the edition sizes. We don't know the prices just yet. But just as soon as they post that information, we will get a video out to you. Best of luck on this drop if you decide to go for it. I'm all about collecting these key comics and key characters, so I'll definitely be going for it. And I know Heather, she loves Nicoletta Balderi, so she's definitely going to be going after theirs rare and ultra rare.
Good luck. Hopefully you guys got like a
video. This is Corey signing off.
Got something good that you guys wanted. Maybe the artwork on the rarity that you wanted. Great video, guys. And I don't think they did put out the Medium article just yet. I'm sure it's going to come out today at some point, probably right after I sign off. On that Mr. Fantastic drop. I'll probably be skipping that drop, but I'll still stream it, of course. Wow, let's go. A sub 200 mint common. Wow. That's insane, Kurosemi. 47K floor for AF15 common when Omen NFT comes. Woo! That's aggressive, but I like it. I could see it maybe being half that, but I think it's going to continue to grow over time because it's one of those comics where majority of the people who get that comic aren't going to be letting it go. Unless you have a couple and you just flip a duplicate. But I think it's one of those comics that even non-comic collectors are going to want to just have one in their collection. So I think that is going to be one of the big catalysts to increase a lot more liquidity in the app. Once we can put crypto in and buy these collectibles, comics, crypto, that will help for sure. You asked me this last time, Real Talk, and I still don't know. But I think it's an amazing idea. This is super long term, like using a Komi maybe. Okay, so like kind of see like how well certain drops are doing compared to like how well the physical Coca-Cola's are. I'm sure that had some kind of impact that some kind of analysis they were looking at when they did drop the Starlight. I really don't want to bring it down because last time I did, that's how I dropped my comic book. But I actually have one of those Starlight Coca-Colas unopened. I was like, you know what? This is a collector item for me. I'm collecting. If they release like more Coca-Colas, I'm gonna try to have them all. So I'm sure that had some kind of impact of it. How much, I'm not too sure, but I'm sure they saw all the videos people were making, promotion, and that's how I see a lot of this happen. I see a lot of these big brands using VeVe as a promotional tool. I think we're gonna see with Disney new movies. When a new movie comes out, like a brand new Disney movie, once this web app is like completely finished, I think they're gonna use that as promotion. And I only say that, I don't even want to bring it up because I brought it up so many times recently, but the Al Khan interviews, he said that. So, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Ross has a lot of amazing artwork on some of his comics. I'm going to try to bring up one of my favorite. Alex Ross. I think it's a rare Marvels one. Yeah, Alex Ross. This is one of my favorite ones. I think his artwork is iconic as well, too. Like this comic right here, I'm just keeping this one just because I want to hang it up in my showroom. Like that's how I treated some of these comics. And this is one of my favorite Scotty Young. It's like one of my favorite Scotty Young artworks. Have you ever seen The Boys? I have not. Oh, it looks like Vivian 3 is a huge fan of The Boys. That comic is on Terra. Oh, yeah. So, you know what's funny about that platform, Vivian 3? I actually found that platform like weeks after I found VeVe. And I was like, whoa, like another platform, huh? So I dove into it a little bit, start researching, and I found that it has potential. I did collect some things on that platform. And then the more research I did, I was like, VeVe is the one, But I think that platform will be here in the future. Shout out to Wendy. Wendy's a big part of their platform. So, shout out to her and everything that she's done with them. I think the way I see that platform is, this is what I've always said from the beginning when I've told Wendy this too. I see VeVe being like Apple Music and that platform being Spotify. That's how I see it. Because I mean, they're kind of similar. They just don't have as many brands licensed as VeVe does, but I think they're going to continue to grow. They do have comics. A lot of people like their animated covers, and the fact that they do have animated covers is why I believe it's coming to VeVe eventually at some point too. We got OBL in the house. Shout out to Orange Bag Lady. What up, lad? How we doing, OBL? OBL, have you been doing the Twitter Spaces lately? I haven't seen them, and I haven't joined it so long. If you do a Twitter Spaces again, I guess next week, shoot me a DM and let me know, and I'm 100% joining. I always forget. I don't know if you're still doing them Tuesdays, but next time you do one, shoot me a DM, and I'm 100% joining. It's been a while. Hope all is well, OBL. OBL has been here for a while, too. She's definitely an OG. Definitely check out her content. I mean, she was always making content on Twitter, YouTube, always has great interviews with people from the community, so if you guys don't know by now, make sure you go follow Orange Bag Lady. Yeah, I think that platform has potential. I see VeVe being a little bit more, I don't even know the word for it. I just think the way I always saw it was like Apple Music and Spotify. I do think VeVe is going to be the king. But again, just because one is the king doesn't mean another platform doesn't have room to grow. But yeah, shout out to Wendy because I know Wendy's been crushing it over there. I never heard of the Boys show though. Like I never knew anything about it. But I know it's a pretty popular. Glad to see Vivian 3 is into it. I'm going to go over the prices one more time, and then I'm going to be signing off today. We got the Secret Rare going for 110. That'll be about like 125, maybe get up to 150 eventually. Ultra Rare down to 20. The Rares at 870. Uncommons at 399, and the Commons are at 398. I think people are just trying to see how low will it go. Will it get down to $2 before you come in and scoop it up, stack them? Hey, there's nothing wrong with taking a wee bit of break. You know, got to rejuvenate, got to get refreshed. So glad to see it's only a little break, and you will be getting back to it. Streams, spaces. Just shoot me a DM next time you do run one, and we'll definitely, I'll definitely come join. Hashtag soon. Let's go. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Absolutely, Corey. Or if it's Heather. I think it's Corey. Didn't see Heather in the video today. Hope all is well. But yeah, I do agree. Like I picked up some early things on there. I think I got a couple. Let's see. What did I grab over there? I honestly haven't even looked at it in so long. I don't even know if it's up in value or not. I haven't even opened it. I still hope I can find my passwords and everything, honestly. What did I get? I got a couple of Godfather posters, like 1 of 50. I think I got like 3 of them. I was like, well, if this blows it up, at least I'll have like 3 1 of 50 Godfather posters. I got a couple. What were they? A couple Godzillas, like early Godzilla. It's not like the highest rarity or anything like that, but it's funny. I told a couple of people about that platform, and they laughed at it. I was like, okay, you can laugh at it. And then once I realized and learned like how much further ahead VeVe was, I was like, VeVe is the one. Then those people that laughed at that platform were trying to convince me that that was the platform. I was like, what? I was like, I told you about this. You hated on me for it. You hated it, laughed at it. I told you now that VeVe is the platform. And then that's when they start hopping on. I was like, what? But yeah, those people haven't been in the VeVe community since. So, but yeah, shout out to Wendy though. Wendy's been crushing it over there. So, I think she's been doing a great job for them. I think she just held a pretty solid spaces, or she's about to have one or something like that for them. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with getting into other projects too. All right, guys, I'm gonna be signing out today. Appreciate you guys big time for tuning in. I had a lot of fun on the stream. Shout out to everyone making videos. Keep making videos, guys. Making content. It's gonna pay off. I think. Just think about it too. We're in a bear market where people still don't even understand NFTs or digital collectibles. Everyone just keep making content, have fun with it, love what you're doing, because that way it won't seem like work, right? And just imagine where things are going to be in a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. It's a marathon. People always want to say, we want to go to the moon tomorrow. Things don't happen like that, right? It takes time. So appreciate you guys big time for tuning in. I'm signing out today. It's your boy, Johnny Dunn. We out.